WrestleMania season has been all about The Rock. Hollywood Rock has gone heel, has been a great addition to the WrestleMania season this year, and has also made Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins look completely inferior on the way to Cody Rhodes challenging Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. But Cody Rhodes isn't the only one being affected by heel Rock, as Rock called out Dave Meltzer for a specific report where he claimed Meltzer's report was complete horseshit. We'll go over which one was that and what exactly Dave Meltzer said in regards to Dwayne Johnson right here on Off the Script. Also, has Jack Perry asked for his AEW release? The latest on that, with conflicting reports coming from AEW side and Jack Perry coming out and revealing all that has happened since he was suspended by AEW. And MJF, is he on his way back to AEW television? They removed his merchandise from the shop. They removed his profile from the AEW website. Why is everything being kept secretive in regards to MJF? We'll talk about that right here on Off the Script. And we'll start with Jack Perry. Jack Perry actually asked for his AEW release and was denied that request. He wasn't cleared to rip up his contract when he showed up for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, Jack Perry hasn't been seen in AEW since his match against Hook at All In, which was the day in which CM Punk and Jack Perry got into it, which led to CM Punk being fired and Jack Perry being suspended. Right after the match, Perry allegedly clashed with CM Punk on his way to the ring for his match with Samoa Joe to open All In. It's likely whatever happened next is what cost Punk his job, and a report earlier this week claimed Tony Khan blames Jack Perry for AEW losing CM Punk and has not forgiven him. In a fresh twist, a new report has revealed Perry actually asked to be released by AEW but was denied. That's according to the Wrestling Observer's Brian Alvarez, after the reports from earlier this week claimed Perry had been desperately trying to apologize to Tony Khan for what happened. Alvarez has now revealed Perry hasn't attempted to apologize at all. Perry reportedly wants it to be known that he and Khan did not speak for 2 months after the incident, but reconnected at Full Gear in November. Now, tentative plans were put in place for Perry's AEW return at that point, but those plans were scrapped when Punk re-debuted for WWE later that month. Perry has apparently requested he be released from his AEW deal since then, but that request was denied. Instead, he showed up in New Japan, something that was originally arranged with the help of Khan, but nothing that has happened since was done with AEW's input. The man formerly known as Jungle Boy has gone rogue. That likely means him tearing up his AEW contract in the middle of a New Japan ring was not only not a pre-approved angle, sure thing. That's part of something bigger, but a message to Tony Khan and AEW that despite not being given permission to leave, he has no intention of wrestling for the promotion again. AEW feels like it's on an uptick at the moment, but situations like these needed to be handled more professionally. There's still a chance that this is still an angle. You don't say. And of course, and that Perry has put in the word, or put the word out there to make it even more shocking if he does ever wrestle for AEW again. However, if he has been denied his release, even though AEW doesn't plan on using him, that feels a little petty. Do you want to know where my mindset is at with this? Truly, if AEW had no plans of using Jack Perry ever again after the CM Punk incident, they would have fired him with Punk right on the spot. You're being worked, brother. You're all being worked. Give me a fucking break. If Tony Khan had zero plans to use Jack Perry, he would have fired him for the situation that he caused with the biggest superstar that they had, and he would have been fired because it was at the biggest show that the company has ever put on. He made a public embarrassment of himself and a public embarrassment of the company. Give me a break. Why is my music playing? I guess even my fucking music agrees with me. AEW would have fired Jack Perry. Plain and simple. Additionally, you wait to bring him back months after all that happened, and then you shill him off to New Japan Pro Wrestling, a company in which AEW is great partners with. And you mean to tell me you shill him off to New Japan Pro Wrestling, you make arrangements for him to go wrestle over there, but you don't make arrangements for him to show up over there with an AEW contract and rip it up in front of their management and their audience? That doesn't make any sense to me, man. Why would Jack Perry, after being in the situation that he was in and did what he did with Punk at All In, show up after the company arranged for him to be there and then take an AEW contract unbeknownst to Tony Khan and rip it up when it wasn't approved? Nothing here makes sense. You are being worked, brother. That's exactly what is going on. AEW doesn't want you to know when Jack Perry's coming back. AEW wants to blur the lines that Tony Khan is angry at Jack Perry, and I'm sure he is. I'm sure a lot of people in that company who are pro-Punk are blaming Jack Perry for the reason why CM Punk is not in AEW anymore. But it's not just on Jack Perry. A lot of people are to blame for why CM Punk is not there. But the biggest thing here is if Tony Khan did not want Jack Perry in AEW anymore, he would have already been fired. He would have been fired on the spot when Punk was fired. But he isn't. Instead, he's working with AEW's great partner in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he ripped up his contract in a approved segment. AEW is bringing him back to television. They can't do it right now because right now they're on the biggest uptick, I don't want to say in company history, but the biggest uptick that they had in years. They're not going to bring him back where he's already still an eyesore. They're not going to bring back that negative feeling that Jack Perry's back on television. It's almost going to feel like that they're moving backwards. So they'll bring him back when the time is right. And when the time is right, you'll know. Because there's only one place and one group for him to end up with. And that is with the Young Bucks. That's exactly what they're going to be doing with Jack Perry. And Jack Perry coming back on his own as the scapegoat. There's no interest in Jack Perry. Jack Perry will be swallowed by the sheer talent on this roster. At one point, he was a pillar of the company. No longer. There are new pillars to the company named Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, MJF. AEW has completely gone in a different direction. No longer are we talking about Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. MJF is still there. Britt Baker, Jack Perry. We're not talking about those pillars anymore. AEW is a completely different company. Jack Perry will be back when the time is right, and he will be aligned with the Young Bucks because that's the only thing that makes sense. Jack Perry being back in AEW, nobody gives a shit about Jack Perry on AEW television as a solo act. I'm actually looking forward to it because I think the heat that would generate from that group would be tremendous. The Rock, speaking of heat, The Rock denies horseshit report about TKO wanting him to follow WWE TV PG guidelines. Now, The Rock, he has not shied away from addressing anything, no matter where it's coming from. The language in his promos has been a topic of discussion as of late, the last 2 weeks, and as previously reported exclusively by SE Scoops and then confirmed by Dave Meltzer, there's been a lot of talk of some frustration amongst talent in and out of WWE about the double standard that comes with The Rock being back on television and allowed to use adult language in his promos. There was a feeling that the double standard under Vince McMahon's reign in charge was over once Triple H took over, but that's not the case. Nick Khan, Triple H, and Dan Ventrell, Executive Vice President of Talent, sent out a recent memo to Talent reminding them of the company being PG with no cursing on TV or social media. And then The Rock returned doing the exact opposite. It was said that Talent was told, due to the company being publicly traded and the wishes of TKO Management was for WWE to be TV PG, and he's on the board, that if anything, he should be the one following the rules to set the example. WWE did let Cody Rhodes push the envelope on his promo on Monday, and his segment basically went about calling The Rock, saying The Rock had a little dick syndrome, called him an asshole, called him a bitch. 3 curse words in one promo for Cody Rhodes. This was all ahead of what The Rock had done via The Rock concert on SmackDown. The Rock took to Twitter overnight to address a report that TKO wanted him to set an example and follow the TV PG product guidelines. He goes on and quotes a WrestleLamia tweet highlighting the word lame, these copy and paste merchants on social media with no credibility, sources, or originality. Wrestling Observer Newsletter says TKO would like The Rock to follow and set a good example of its guidelines of TV PG. However, many feel the double standards of the Vince McMahon era are back. Dwayne Johnson, as you see there, says this story is complete horseshit, end quote. You know, again, I'm going to reiterate this the best way that I can in regards to this report. I said it then, I'm going to say it now. It's not that we need anybody to curse. A bitch, a prick, an asshole. I mean, those are very, very light terms. I mean, WWE could get away with doing shit like that. It's not about the fucking cursing. It's not. It's not about cursing on television. It's the simple fact that The Rock is back and everything has been about The Rock. Again, I have been reiterating, I've been regurgitating that this all might be done by design. We just don't see it yet. But it's Rock and everything else underneath it. Cody looks inferior, Seth and his title look inferior, and fucking Roman Reigns looks like a third wheel here. I mean, is the title shot against Cody with The Rock? Or is it with Roman? What's the bigger match? The tag team match or the championship match that closes the entire WrestleMania show that you've been building since last year? Finish the story. Which is it? That's the problem. It's all Rock, all week, all WrestleMania season. That's all anybody's talking about. Again, all might be done by design. You wanted to fuck with the Brahma Bull. Now you got the horns. You took the championship match away from him that he originally wanted. Now he's going to make you pay. That's the conspiracy theory. Is The Rock for making WrestleMania bigger and better than ever? The best ever? Or is he about Dwayne? Because if he was for the WWE, Cody wouldn't look like a fucking bitch. Seth Rollins would be better off, and that championship would actually be valuable going into WrestleMania. And Roman, honestly, if you asked me how excited I am for a Roman Reigns, this is the lowest in his entire title reign that I'm excited for a Roman Reigns championship match at WrestleMania. It's disgusting. And going back to Cody has been castrated this entire WrestleMania season, whereas some people say, oh, this is the plan. This is the way it's supposed to be. Really? Every twist and turn, Cody looks like a fucking idiot. Every twist and turn, Cody looks weak. Every twist and turn, Cody looks like a bitch. This guy wins the Royal Rumble, hasn't been stronger since then, all WrestleMania season. That was the peak. And then it's been a decline ever since he won the Royal Rumble. He gives up his championship match We get no explanation from Cody Rhodes as to why he did such a outlandish thing. We have to wait weeks for an explanation. Did we get it from Cody? Of course we didn't. We got it from Rock, because Cody's too busy looking like a bitch during this WrestleMania season. Why did he give it up? We had to hear it from The Rock. Seth Rollins, his championship match, a complete afterthought with Drew McIntyre. His title, a complete afterthought. Rock buried Cody and Seth Rollins in a 21-minute viral promo where neither one of them have recovered all WrestleMania season. Then Cody goes on Monday Night Raw with Michael Cole. He starts crying, "Oh, Dusty, I can't hand the title to Dusty. I want to hand the title to Dusty. All I have left is my mother. I'm going to hand the title when I win it to my mother." He's crying on national television. The fucking guy who just got slapped in front of a worldwide audience in Las Vegas by The Rock, crying. Cry when you win the title, brother. Not on the road to the match that you haven't won yet. So if you're following along, he won the Rumble. He got bitch slapped. He gave up his championship match. He didn't give an explanation. We had to hear it from weeks later from Dwayne himself. He cries. He wants to hand the title to his mother. Rock comes out and says, "Fuck your story." Then he goes in on his family, on his dog, on his mom. Cody comes out, cuts one promo where he drops 3 curse words. Oh my God, man, you're really pushing the envelope with that one. And then he comes out the following fucking Friday and asks for a handshake from Roman Reigns. Of all people, of all factions, you're going to ask for a handshake from Roman Reigns? I don't get it. People are making things out for the handshake to be more than it really is. Oh, Roman asked for a handshake last year, and Cody didn't shake his hand. Now Cody's playing mind games this year. Asked for a handshake, and Roman didn't shake his hand. Give me a fucking break. Are you fucking kidding me? The last thing that anybody should be wanting to do in this entire angle is offer a fucking handshake. Are you serious? Cody has looked like a complete bitch. Again, it all might be done by design. So my point is, it's not about him cursing. It's not about that. It's not about Rock using foul language. I don't really understand what you guys would expect. You want The Rock, who came from the Attitude Era, to come back into this PG environment and be PG? Yes, that would be enthralling television. That would be so great, man. That would make WrestleMania season off the charts. You fucking kidding me? Yeah, let's bring Rock in and have him be neutered like Cody. That would be great, man. 2 fucking lost souls, 2 puppies neutered right there on the road to WrestleMania. Not gonna happen. You can't take someone from that era and have them play by the rules in this era. Cody and Seth were born in this era, so they have to use the safe route for them. But WWE really could have pushed the envelope and had Cody come out and at least be some scorched earth here. He's just taking it on the chin. Punch after punch after punch after punch, and the guy doesn't know how to come back. He looks weaker going into this WrestleMania season than he did last year. Fact. At this point, the way I sit now, I'm going to say it so everybody understands that I'm not anti-Cody. I'm anti-creative. Cody should win the title. He should win against Roman. That's another problem as to where you go from there. He should win, because I would rather Cody with the championship than another 6-7 months of Roman with the championship. Because the story with Roman is with The Rock and the bloodline and what happens there. That's the next chapter. Cody should win the championship. But I'm telling you right now, man, I don't know who is as interested this year than they were last year. That's a problem. The fact that Cody and Seth have not gotten any one-on-one time, any opportunity to go verbally spar with The Rock and get some jabs back, that's the problem. It's not the fact that The Rock is able to use curse words. It's not the fact that these guys have to be PG. It's the fact that they haven't been given any fucking time to say anything. You got one guy crying. You got one guy fucking being cut off before he could get to a point. That's the problem. It's been all Dwayne, all WrestleMania season, and that is where the problem stems, not the fucking cursing. Not the cursing. MJF. We'll end with this. MJF is staying quiet about his AEW situation and injuries. MJF is keeping kayfabe alive with his injury status while being away from AEW television. MJF worked the World's End pay-per-view in December despite dealing with the torn labrum and hip injury. It marked his last match as he lost the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to Samoa Joe. Coming out of the show, MJF needed to decide whether he would get the surgery for his bad shoulder, and if that was the case, he'd be sidelined for close to a year. While off AEW TV, he's finished filming a new comedy series called Floaters alongside Aya Cash, Seth Green, Steve Guttenberg, Jonathan Silverman, and Dan Adut. It's written by Brent Hoff, Andra Gordon, and Amelia Brain. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reported that MJF is literally being as secretive as possible about his situation after dealing with a significant shoulder injury. Everybody wishes him a speedy recovery and back on AEW television as soon as possible. MJF is born and raised of the old school mindset. He's not going to let you know what he's thinking. He's not going to let you know when he's coming back. He's always going to be in character no matter if he's a babyface or a heel. And even if he's still a babyface, he's still going to be a heel. MJF is not going to reveal a single fucking thing. He hasn't been on social media. He hasn't said a word. He's been out of the public eye. Good. He understands that if you are in people's eyes and minds, that everybody's going to start asking questions. Keep everybody at a distance. When he comes back, it's going to be a big deal. When he comes back, you're not going to know about it. When he comes back, Adam Cole's not going to know about it. Everybody's going to be excited for the return of MJF, and things are really going to start heating up for that top of the card in AEW. Remember, look at how great they are now at the top of the card for that World Championship. They're missing Kenny Omega. They're missing Adam Cole and MJF with injury. When they get them back, unbelievable. MJF is not going to let you know what's going on with him. I'm just hoping that it is a situation where he did not need surgery. He went to go rehabilitate and let it heal on its own. And he'll be back before All In, where we get Adam Cole and MJF again, with MJF going over and then him chasing the World Championship once again. But I like it. I like the fact that we don't know. Why? Because all surprises today in pro wrestling are just ruined. And there's no surprises left. MJF is trying to give you something that is a rarity nowadays. You want him to come back? I want it to be a surprise. If everybody knew he was coming back and he was healed and this and that, everybody's like, all right, the surprise is ruined. I like the way that he stays quiet on everything, and it's a rarity for someone like him who constantly is in character, playing that character, whether he's on TV or not. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If today you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate you hit the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. There is plenty of it. So make sure you guys go check all that stuff out. And I would really appreciate you follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Thank you guys very much for a great week. I'll be back live tomorrow night for the Monday Night Raw post show right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.